Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of
Tali Takes. Oh my gosh. Welcome back. This is Tali Takes, where we confide in you, our faithful listeners, our takes on what's going on
in the world,
in the publication,
and in our community. Super excited to be back again after being
little quick hiatus.
Right, super small hiatus. Life's getting busy. We're past the 5-week check-in, past the midterm.
We're way past 5 weeks. I know. So much is going on.
We're in the nitty-gritty now.
Yeah, things are winding down. Magazine work's getting busy for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure work is getting busy for everyone that is a college student right now. We're in the kind of home stretch type. So, but we had to start off this episode kind of as a little recall to our past episode by thanking Beyonce.
Yes, thank you, Beyonce.
We wouldn't be here today without her, and I'm just so grateful that we have this opportunity, and she's made such a path forward for us. So thank you so much, Beyonce, for all that you do.
Thank you so much. Personally, I want to say thank you because everything is just Beyonce. And Beyonce is all I can say.
Period.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, since we've done our thinking of Beyonce, we have a lot going on in the world.
A lot of sad stuff, some interesting stuff, some cool stuff.
Some disappointing stuff.
Really disappointing stuff. So let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
Kick it off with our saddest piece of news. If you have not heard already, the former One Direction member Liam Payne sadly passed away just a few days ago at 31.
Yeah, I think that's how old he was.
It's so sad.
So sad. But I don't know if you were a One Direction fan at all.
I really was.
I was too. It was like that clip of Nicole when she was like picking out all the members, and she's like, the little girls are gonna love them. We did love them.
We did.
And we still love them to this day. And it was such a pivotal part of like my childhood. Like that was the boy band.
Right.
That's who we were into. And seeing them like grow as a group, and then all of like, even when they broke up and all of that, like we still love all those people, and they're such big parts of especially my like childhood memories, and like having posters in my room and like talking with my friends about them. It was just, it's so sad that like now one of them's gone, and it's just unthinkable.
Right, exactly. I remember like I was just at a practice night with my team. I'm part of the forensics team. We were just practicing together. And one of my teammates was like, oh my gosh, guys, Liam Payne is dead. And all of us were like, what? Like, that's not true. You know, that's probably something that was just like as a joke on Instagram or something. And then come to find out it was real. And my jaw stayed dropped for like 5 minutes. I was like, there's no way. That's like one of those deaths that's just like genuinely shocking. That's not what you even think of.
Well, you know that trend that happened, I don't know, a while ago, where it was like going and like saying, oh my gosh, this celebrity dead at whatever age. Like I thought it was something like that.
Me too.
I was like, I'm being gaslit. Like this is not true.
Exactly.
But then like you go on and all these major news organizations are reporting that, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Right.
I was in my bed, I got a notification on my phone, and I looked and I was like, this has to be fake. Like they've mixed it up, like something, like this isn't true.
Or he's missing.
Yeah, like something was reported wrong.
Exactly.
Because you just don't, he was so young. He has a son, his girlfriend, his family, his friends. Our prayers go out to them. It's such a terrible situation. And a lot of people, I think everyone that loved One Direction or loved Liam, like, genuinely are upset of his death. But I know there's been a lot of like, I guess, issues with people saying like, oh, now we won't get a One Direction reunion. That's not what this is about
at all.
No. And like, would I have paid all of my money to go see that? Of course, but that's not the purpose of like, we're sad that like this young person who had so much potential and could do amazing things and has done amazing things has lost his life at this young of an age, where he has a family and all these people that care deeply for him and for his music. And it's just a tragic, tragic thing.
Exactly. And what was really interesting to me, and the thing I keep seeing recurring like on Instagram, is not only like everyone being like, oh my goodness, their reunion will be at his funeral. Like, that's heartbreaking.
That broke my heart.
Right? Like, that's just so sad. But also something that's been on my mind is all of their statements that they've been putting out on Instagram, like about how shocked they are and how genuinely saddened they are at the fact that someone they considered a brother is just gone so suddenly. And I think the one that really broke my heart was Zayn's. Yeah. Because they had a really fraught relationship. And Zayn, his, like, Harry, Niall, and Louis, all of them were like, you know, we'll miss our brother, and that was it. Yeah. You know I loved you. You know what I'm saying? But Zayn was like, I never got the chance to tell you that I really respected and valued you. Yeah. And, like, in a way, his statement was him saying that. And that was really sad. Yeah. And almost a reminder even to me to be like, wow, if you love someone, like, really tell them and make sure that they know, because you never know. Yeah. Like, someone as famous and as well protected as Liam Payne died falling off of a balcony in a different country. Like, that's just it's crazy.
So yeah. And I think the thing about that is, obviously, like, once One Direction broke up, there was a lot of, like, tension and bad blood between some of the people in the group. So knowing that, like, some of them still have that tension, like Zayn, like, said he never got a chance to, like, tell him how he actually felt and, like, reconcile that relationship. I'm hoping that, like, a good thing that can come out of this is that, like, the rest of the members of One Direction can kind of, like, grow to get back together and like bond over the fact that, like, they lost a brother, like someone they all called a brother and that they literally grew up with. Right. Like, some of them, I think 14, they were 14 to 18 when they were on X Factor. So they literally, like, had their 20s and, like, their childhood together, and they, like, learned through those processes and, like, how to become a star and how to sing and how to perform.
Right. Exactly.
And, like, all the things that happen behind the scenes that we don't see. But I'm hoping that, like, through this, the rest of them can kind of bond back together over the fact that, like, they have this, like, shared loss, that they cared so much for him. Right. The statement that really broke my heart was his sister's statement. And if you haven't read it, go read it. But it really shows, like, even the celebrities are, like, these, like, me think of them like these untouchable, like, so far away from us people. Like, they are humans. They are people that have families. He has a 7-year-old kid that he's leaving behind in this world, his girlfriend, his family. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, they might have all this fame and all this money and all these things, but, like, at the end of the day, they're still people. We should respect them and really, like, mourn the loss of, like, what a beautiful soul. So
yeah. So rest in peace, Liam Payne. We will definitely miss you. Yeah. But let's maybe transition out of that, wipe the tears away, and let's talk about something interesting. So, if you keep up with sports at all, you would know that LeBron James is one of the greatest to ever play the game. If you think that Michael Jordan is the best player of basketball, you have that opinion. If you think LeBron James is the best, you have that opinion. But you cannot argue that LeBron James is the best person playing basketball right now. Like, this man is, like, pushing 40 and literally, like, up there with the newcomers like Anthony Edwards. And like, he's right there. He's right there with them. You know what I'm saying? And you put him on a team, the team is winning. So, like, yeah. So LeBron James, always been famous. He has sons that also play the game.
Of course.
Specifically, he has a son named Bronny who was at USC and just made it into the NBA draft after playing in G League. Now, here's the issue. Okay, Bronny James has a problem, okay? If you know what reference that is, let me know in the comments. But anyways, so Bronny James has a problem. He isn't good, okay? So, like, you know, everyone else, you make it to G League, right? You haven't made it to NBA, but you need to have, like, some sort of skill, right? Yeah. That's about it. That's about all that Bronny has. And he like, his ratio of how many shots he makes versus how many he makes is terrible. Like, it's he objectively is one of the worst players currently in the league, which is bad. Yeah. But him being in the NBA is the first time there's a father-son duo in the NBA, And he got drafted to the Lakers, which is LeBron James' team. So this is the first time in history we're seeing a father-son duo playing on the same team.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? But it's given Bronny some extra attention that he low-key does not deserve. So he was like the last pick. He was like 50-something, okay? The 50, that's crazy, guys. Like, that's to be that low. Okay, cool. The person above him got a 1-year contract with $70,000 guaranteed. Okay?
Okay.
That was the person right before him. Bronny James, the last pick in this year's NBA draft, has a 4-year contract with the Lakers and a $7.9 million contract.
That's insane.
And he's one of the objectively worst players in the league. And here's the thing, too. He low-key, without his last name, and you can fight me on this, without his last name, he would not have even made it out of USC. Like, I think his college basketball career would have been over. And that was just it.
Yeah. I mean, if his ratings and all those things are that bad, yeah. And that, like, I think just the amount of money that he's getting on that contract, the duration of that contract, is, like, enough evidence to show that, like, if it's because of his name.
Exactly. And you know what? People are eating it up. And that's what really is the smartest thing about it. It's the smartest thing that the Lakers GMs have done, because they know now for 4 years guaranteed, whether Bronny is good or not, they're going to have some buzz around the team because it's LeBron James and Bronny James playing on the same team.
Yeah.
But now this raises questions of, okay, so is LeBron James staying for 4 more years whenever everybody's kind of been like, oh, LeBron's leaving, like the past few years because he's tired of the Lakers being bad?
Which, I mean, apparently if they're having Bronny on it, they're not going to get better. Oh, my gosh. That's, like, talk about a Nepo baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, my gosh. That's insane. Right? $7.9 million.
$7.9 million.
You know, he doesn't need the money either. Because LeBron has the money. Oh, my gosh.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like, he's one of the worst players of the game, and he has a big, huge contract. And I just feel bad too, because the imposter syndrome you must feel, and just the like, because to know, if you look up the words Bronny James anywhere, all you're gonna see is people saying he's bad. Like that's all. I even saw a TikTok. I saw a TikTok that was like, Bronny misses a free throw. And the camera immediately panned to LeBron James, and he just started sipping something. And people were in the comments were like, "What? We're just glazing LeBron at this point. Like, we're just."
Oh my gosh. Which, I mean, I'm sure there is a lot of pressure on him.
Totally.
So I guess he might be a better player if there wasn't the pressure of it all.
I totally agree.
And I mean, obviously, he has to have some level of skill to like play.
Right.
I mean, even with his name, I feel like he has to have some. Sort of. Like, even if he might not be anywhere near someone like the highest playing NBA players. But
right.
Like, he at least has something, but I couldn't imagine that pressure. Like, my older sister played softball, so when I played softball, there was, like, this is nowhere on this level, but I'm saying if I experienced that much pressure as, like, the younger sister playing the same sport, like, I could not imagine as, like, my father, one of the
greatest,
like, of all time players, and then having to, like, go play on the same team as him, no less, which is, like,
all
so much
eyes
worse.
are on you.
Which, I mean, it's a good marketing thing for them. Like, we're going to have all this buzz, but, like, is it worth it if your team's going to lose all the time? Because you're not going to have loyal fans if they know, like, I can just switch to a team that actually wins every year. I don't know.
I hope for Bronny's sake that LeBron decides to stay for the duration of Bronny's contract. Because if Bronny gets left in the next, like, 2 years or something, it's just gonna be terrible.
Yeah, part of me is like, they'll probably let him go if he's that bad, but also they're in this contract. I mean, his name is a lot of it. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know what, like, do we think LeBron actually wants him on this team?
Yes.
Okay.
LeBron did say that's like something that was like his only goal, is to have his son play with him.
So that's why he's been in the league this long.
Yes. It is. Like, he's been waiting for Bronny. And I don't know if the wait was worth it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if LeBron sticks it out just for him, or if he'll be like,
exactly.
This is bad. I'm gonna pack up my stuff and like go do brand deals or something. Yeah,
and we'll see if Bronny improves.
Yeah, I hope he does. I hope the press
for his sake.
Yeah, not for real. We'll see what happens.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Alrighty. On to our next and final interesting topic of the day. So earlier this month, on October 4th, a movie hit theaters that people were really anticipating because it had Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, and it was the Joker 2. Folie à deux, okay?
Wow, that pronunciation.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So there's a lot of hype around this because the first Joker, and Reagan can attest this, was really good.
It was. And there's so many actors that have played Joker, and obviously there are some that have like great, like Heath Ledger.
Yes. Some
amazing. There's some that we don't even talk about. But like Joaquin Phoenix's first Joker was a really great Joker.
Yeah.
Great movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I really enjoyed it. It was a really loved movie at the time. It was like one of the top movies that year.
Yes.
I think 2019 is what we said earlier.
Right.
So great movie. And there was a lot of anticipation around this film because
Lady Gaga, like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, she's a beautiful actress.
Yeah.
She's a really specific kind of actress that would be perfect for playing Harley Quinn.
Yeah, definitely. But here comes the issue with this movie. There's a lot of issues with this movie, and it kind of leads to a grander topic, but it's a musical thriller, as is what it is established on.
Let's take a moment of silence. We went from
a very like action-packed thriller, gory kind of like
superhero,
very like villainous, yeah, type of movie that was
to the Joker is me.
And not that musicals are bad. Like there's amazing musicals.
I love
no
musicals.
one's saying that there isn't. But why?
Why would you follow up that? No, I can kind of. I haven't watched it, and neither has Reagan.
No.
So like we don't know. Maybe it is like, oh, they're crazy. Let's do a musical and show what's going on inside of their head. Maybe that's what the reason is. But it doesn't make sense whenever the like group of people that went to go watch Joker 1 and that liked it.
Liked what it was.
Why would you think that they would like this?
And of course, like, yeah, the reasoning, I guess, also is that Lady Gaga is a singer. So, like, we should have her sing. She can do the soundtrack without being, like, making it a musical.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's just so much. I know people that, like, have seen it. So we haven't seen it. But everyone's just like, it was so unnecessary. Like, it totally, like, took away from, like, the seriousness of, like, who the character is. And, like, the importance of, like, what was going on in the film, because it's like serious like court scenes and like scenes in jail and violence and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm gonna sing now, and it's just like, why
it's Joker.
Yeah,
it's the Joker.
It's supposed to be like, and I think there are scenes in like other Joker movies where he does like sing-songy type of like creepy things,
you know,
but
like,
that's not
crazy.
Like a song. That's just like very much like, I'm gonna be creepy and sing this little part. It's not like I'm actually gonna sing out a full song with like a choir. I don't know.
The choir took me in the trailer.
Like, yeah, we watched the trailer and it's just like,
what is there a choir here for? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
Especially because the universe of this Joker just doesn't make sense.
No, because I feel like this Joker was like a very, very like insane, like meant to be like a very insane, very violent character. Like the first movie, if you've seen it, like it's very much like you see the transition from like kind of regular person to this like psychosis and like insanity and all these things. Like you kind of see him go through that transition. So going to this where it's like, now we're just gonna sing about it, it just, I feel like it takes away so much. And I haven't seen it, but just from what I've been told, I don't even want to watch it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Which says a lot. And we were kind of talking about this earlier, but this leads to like the bigger conversation of like, what's going on in Hollywood?
Literally.
Like,
where is our creativity? Why are we only making prequels and sequels and
remakes and all that? Like we've had like, okay, Top Gun's Maverick was like a good remake or like a good update sequel,
because it was like this was a movie from like so many years ago, and it was like
they had the OG actors, which I mean, guess Joaquin Phoenix, but like they did it right, and Tom Cruise made sure they did it right.
Yeah.
But like there's so many movies nowadays where there's like, we're gonna remake it and we're gonna, or either like do a prequel or a sequel and all these things, but like, because they know no one's watching the new stuff that they're making, because all of the new stuff they're making is not appealing. There's no creativity going on.
People are not like excited about it. Like, okay, A24 is like the newest up and coming, what would you call that, like production company or something like that, and like they're making some really good movies that are like turning out to be like cult classics. Like people are loving their stuff. However, no one really knows about them being in theaters. You just have to know by following A24 on their Instagram, or you know what I'm saying? A friend through a friend through a friend. There's no big blockbusters that are new.
Yeah. Well, it's like Disney has like monopolized a lot of like the industry, like with having Marvel, all of the Disney movies, buying out other like franchises and stuff.
Right.
So I think that's also a part of it, is just like, okay, we have now access to all of these like great successful movies. Like what can we do to keep profiting off of those? It's not about like what can we do to be creative and like introduce new stories and new things into the world. It's just like, what can we do to make money? And like a lot of that is they know people are going to go watch these prequels and sequels and remakes because they know that it's going to draw in audiences. And again, sometimes it's done well, like the new Twisters movie.
Oh yeah,
people loved it, and the old one's great. So like modernizing things is not necessarily bad. I think it's just an overabundance of it.
Modernizing, I think, is a better way to take it, because that's why I think Top Gun Maverick was so good.
Yeah,
because it
and
was,
Twisters.
like, modern, and Twisters, because it was like you were taking something that was so made for a different time.
Oh yeah,
and now doing it in a way where it's like you take that cult classic and now it's like you're putting it in front of a newer audience while bringing back the old one. Yeah, that makes sense. However, whenever it's just like Snow White is not a cult classic. You know what I'm saying? So a remake of that, what, like there was no magic that like, you know, regardless of how you feel about the casting, it's just the whole movie premise doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Same thing, honestly, if you ask me, with every single Disney remake that they've done except Cinderella. Cinderella was really good.
Yeah, hey, that's fair. Which like in a way, like making like the like real life versions of like the animated things is not necessarily bad, but then we've also seen like that comes with a lot of controversy if they're doing the animated film justice and casting and all of these things. So I just wish that we had people coming up with more creative new things,
right?
Because I love going to the movies, but I never go nowadays because it's always the same stuff.
Exactly.
So there's nothing that makes me excited to want, like me and my dad would go to movies like all the time.
Yeah.
And now there's just nothing that gets me excited. I don't even know what's coming out in theaters. Like if you ask me right now what is in a movie theater, I could not tell you besides this movie because we're talking about it.
Exactly.
So it's just, I don't know.
And this movie is about to be gone. It came out early at the month. You know what I'm saying? Like the last time I've been excited to go to a movie was to watch Howl's Moving Castle as part of the Studio Ghibli, like, you know, the thing they do every year. Like that was the last time I was excited to go to that.
I couldn't tell you.
And Howl's Moving Castle is from like 1990 something. You know what I'm saying? It's old, and so no one's coming up with new, fresh fairy tales, new, fresh thrillers. I feel like the only sector of Hollywood that's really creating bangers that are new stuff is horrors.
Yeah. That's very true.
And thrillers.
And some of them is like sequels to good horrors, but they're doing them well.
Yes.
And like that, some of them are so recent, like Terrifier. I don't like horror movies, so, but I know people love that new movie of the third one. So there's like, that's great. But there's also like, if you can't create things on your own, there's so many amazing books that people have been waiting to be turned into movies forever, or TV series. Why don't you go capitalize on that? Give someone a movie deal. Like, don't change, like, and that can live into a whole other conversation about like, oh, you had to be true to the book. Yes, but also like,
you need to just capture the essence of the
tell us something new, or show something in a new format that we haven't seen before.
Like
that's
Uglies.
all I want.
Uglies is a perfect example. That's out on Netflix right now or something, and so But the issue is that with these new remakes, cool. You're adhering to the magic of the book. You're using the same actors and actresses for everything. So that takes out the magic of it in the first place.
Because then you can't unsee them in certain roles.
Exactly.
And there's so many great like up and coming actors that are just getting passed by because you're like, oh, this person has name recognition. I want the Outer Banks guy.
I was gonna say, Timothée Chalamet, but I feel like he's
a great actor.
He deserves his roles,
and and I think he can transition between roles better than a lot of actors.
He definitely can. But like Jacob Elordi, he's trying to I think he's gonna be the main character in American Psycho based off of the book. It's not gonna be the Christian
Bale.
As I thought it was. I was gonna say Bates. Who's Bates? Who cares?
There's a Bates horror movie.
Oh.
Or there's anyway, we're getting off topic.
Christian Bale. It's not going to be the Christian Bale version. It's not a remake of that.
Okay,
it's
good.
It's like a new version.
Because Christian Bale killed that role.
There's no creating that movie again. They tried to make a sequel of that and it flopped.
I love Christian Bale. That's just a fun fact about me.
Just a really good.
Anyway, sorry, that's just our thought process.
But let's circle back to that. So yeah, Folie is not going to
work. If you like it, let us know why. Really, should we go see it? I just want to know.
Are we wrong?
Yeah, I don't think we are, but hey,
let us know.
I want to be proven wrong, so
exactly.
Maybe it is. Okay, well, that's everything going on in the world right now. So moving on to things happening in our publication. So first, we just had an article come out last week about the Shanks Band. They are a local rock indie band here in Bowling Green. They went to the Kinda Spoopy Music Festival in Adams, Tennessee.
Yep.
And we kind of had our writer and photographer follow them along from leaving Bowling Green to getting to the venue to all the things that they do to prepare for their performance. Their performance literally took you through their whole day.
So fun.
It's a great in-depth what's behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yes, it's so sweet. Our writer Avery Sutton and photographer, editor Caden just got to tag along with them and just become their friends. And we got coverage out over that. So
great photos, great coverage. Go check it out. Highly recommend. It's really cool things going on.
Totally. Next, we had a lot of event coverage. So the umbrella is event coverage. We're going to talk about 3 different articles. First out, we had our event coverage of Sleep Out for the Homeless event that was hosted by the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. So a bunch of people gathered on South Lawn over the weekend and slept out for the homeless and tried to, generate money, generate awareness as well about the issue of unhoused people here in Bowling Green and try to spread awareness for that. So we had some good event coverage.
Getting donations and all that stuff for homeless shelters and all of that. So it was a really good event.
Yep.
The next one was Bat Out Breast Cancer that was hosted by WKU Baseball and Softball. That was held on our baseball field, which is Nick Dennis. I think that's how you say it, field. But they had different games and different stuff going on the field. So spectators would pay to go hit baseballs and stuff on their field. So it's a great event to bring awareness to breast cancer and get donations for that great of a cause. So that also happened last week. And then over the weekend, we had a really great gallery of the volleyball team. They played Louisiana Tech, I think was what it was. So they won.
Yes.
But there's a really full, great gallery of photos, if you haven't seen it.
Beautiful photos.
Lauren and
Caden,
yeah, they both took the photos for that. It was great.
Truthfully, the first photo, it looks like cinematic almost. So make sure to go look at this gallery because, oh my goodness.
Especially if you love sports. It's just
such dynamic photos.
It's great. I love it. Okay.
And finally, what's going on in our community? We're going to take the opportunity to go ahead and highlight actually something in our 270 Chronicle. 270 Chronicles is basically where we cover all things happening in the 270 area code, 270 words at a time. And for this week's edition of it, we had a coverage over Lisa's Diner, a really, really sweet, just small place to go grab some breakfast. And I like to call him our review writer.
Yeah, he is for real.
Review writer, Jeremy.
He did the Papusa story.
He has such a beautiful way of describing places and describing food. So
definitely.
yeah. So Lisa's Diner, he went there in the morning, ate some good stuff off the menu, had a lot of great things to say about it, raved about it. So make sure to go check out that article and also go check out Lisa's Diner while you're at it and let us know what you think.
It's like one of the most iconic places in Bowling Green. Just a breakfast, maybe into lunch location, but definitely go check it out. It's a great piece. So I think that's everything we have this week.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I had a lot of fun, a lot of the interesting things we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening this week.
And we will see you next time on
Tali Takes. Bye.